Blockers is a new comedy directed by Kate Cannon and starring Leslie Mann. You might know her from comedies like This Is 40 and Knocked Up. It also stars Ike Barinholtz. I actually had to look his name up because when I first saw him in this movie, I just recognized him as, oh hey, you're that guy from Suicide Squad. That's how I get down, people. I'm bad with names, but really good with faces. It also stars John Cena, of all people. Children in the movie are also played by Catherine Newton, Geraldine something, and Gideon Alden. And what this movie is okay, here's the thing. The premise for this movie is admittedly really stupid. Basically, three parents in the movie are played by Leslie Mann, John Cena, and Ike Barinholtz, and their children are best friends. They've grown up together all their lives. They've been best friends. And then prom night gets here, and what is prom night without sex? I'll tell you what it is. It's nothing. I remember my prom. Pretty much everybody went to prom to dance and fun. So these three best friends get together, and they're like, okay, let's lose our virginity on the same night. Let's have one of the, yeah, okay, it's American Pie with girls, sue me. And then their parents find out about this somehow due to a laptop staying open or some shit, and then they make the rather dumb and impulsive decision to go after their daughters and try to stop them from having sex on prom night, and this leads to a whole bunch of really crazy shenanigans, and like I said, it's really stupid. Having said that, just because it's a dumb premise and it's not really built on a solid foundation of an idea, doesn't mean that you can't have fun with this thing. Sometimes it's not about how good or bad an idea or a concept is, it's all about the execution, and once you get past the absurdity of this concept, you might find out that this is one of the best comedies of 2018. As far as other films go, like other genre films like sci-fi, action, drama, western, I mean, all of those films have different levels of responsibility. You have one job to do comedy, one job. All you have to do is make me laugh. That's it. If you make me laugh, my foot is in the door, and I will have a positive experience more than likely. And I gotta say, this movie had me laughing quite a bit, and not chuckling. I'm talking about big belly laughs for most of the movie. Literally felt like my lungs were collapsing in the theater. Leslie Mann is hilarious as she usually is. She's been in a lot of other funny movies before. Granted, it's Leslie Mann, so you would go into the movie thinking that she's gonna be funny, but she's even funnier than you think she's gonna be, and you should think that she's already gonna be funny. Like I said, she's been in a lot of other funny movies. Ike Barinholtz, I thought that they were gonna make him the idiot of the group or whatever. He kind of gets dragged into the situation when John Cena and Leslie Mann have to be like, hey, let's go stop our daughters from banging. Honestly, he kind of had the most common sense of the three of them, and he was the character that was actually trying to talk some sense into them over the course of the movie. But the standout of the movie has to be John fucking Cena. I'll be honest, I've never really been a huge John Cena fan. I've also never actually seen him, so I feel like I'm breaking some kind of unwritten John Cena law here. I did see him in this movie, and he did make me laugh. He kind of plays two different characters. On one hand, he's this really competitive, uptight jock who's really big and strong, and he's pushed his daughter to be the best at what she can do. But on the other hand, he's kind of a sensitive crybaby, and it was kind of fun seeing John Cena juggle the two sides of that character. If those three didn't have great chemistry, the jokes in the movie would fall flat. I'm sorry to say, because they take up like 70 to 80% of the movie's runtime. Luckily, the chemistry is really good, the jokes are well written, and it all flows together, man. I'll also give a shout out to the actresses who play their children. Not only do they perform well in the movie for what they're asked to do, but they're also really funny. I was worried that they were going to kind of be brushed aside and they would be treated as less important than the adults, but no, there's a great coming-of-age story in here too. Granted, a coming-of-age story that we've seen before. But again, it's all about the execution, and this movie knew how to push the right buttons. What I love about the humor is that it's simultaneously raunchy and adult and grown-up, and at the same time, well-written and clever, and it also appeals to the adult and the kid in it. I love a well-balanced and well-written comedy that doesn't just rely on the old dick fart poop jokes that we've seen 100,000 times. But yeah, the movie itself is kind of stupid, but yeah, some of the best comedies in the world are built off of stupid premises. And blockers, or cock blockers, because we know that that's what this movie really is called. I remember a few years ago when Nas came out with an album called Nigga, and everybody got really offended by it, and he was like, no, you can't call the album Nigga, what are you talking about? We gotta sell this bitch. And finally Nas was just like, fuck it, and he made it an untitled album. The real people know what that album is really called. It's like we know this movie is actually called Cock Blockers, but instead they just call it Blockers. But I gotta say, whatever its name is, Blockers, it got the job done. As far as gripes with the movie, I mean, okay, like I said, it's a story we've seen before. There are things in this movie that are very cliched. They do rely a lot on certain character archetypes and tropes that you have seen in a bunch of other comedies repeated over and over again. Story is really predictable. You know exactly how the movie starts. You know what the middle of the movie's gonna be. You know where the movie's ending up. Having said that, Blockers had me consistently entertained for most of the movie. Most of the jokes land. The characters are really good and have chemistry chemistry. I'll also say this movie also surprisingly has some very subtle and also in-your-face messages about female empowerment that I thought were pretty A1. Blockers was a really fun time at the movies, and I'm going to put it in the Silver Age for Man of Steel. I can't believe that I'm actually saying this, but go check Blockers out this weekend, man. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace!